The wealthy man sat at the head of the table, his two sons flanking him like shadows of his own past and future. A heavy silence filled the room until the younger son stood up, the screech of his chair echoing against the stone walls. He placed a document on the table, his finger tapping firmly on the property deeds. He wanted his share now. The father looked deeply into his son's eyes, searching for a reason to stay, but found only restless ambition. With a steady hand, he signed the papers. The next morning, the wagon was loaded, and the boy rode toward the horizon without looking back. In a distant city, the gold flowed like water. He threw coins onto tavern counters, buying the laughter of strangers and the finest silk robes money could provide. But gold has a way of vanishing when the heart is hollow. Months later, the heavy purse rattled with nothing but air. The tavern owner, once his best friend, pushed him into the dirt of the street. Then, the sky turned to brass and the earth to dust. A famine struck the land. The son found himself in a muddy field, shoveling slop for pigs, his own stomach twisting in knots. He reached for the husks the animals ate, but his hands shook with a sudden, piercing clarity. He stood up and turned toward the road that led home. His clothes were mere rags, his feet blistered and bleeding with every step. Miles away, the father stood on the porch, his eyes fixed on the shimmering heat of the road as they had been every day since the departure. A silhouette appeared. The father did not wait. He began to run, sprinting past the gate with his arms outstretched, his heart beating faster than his feet could move. He grabbed his son by the shoulders and pulled him into a tight, desperate embrace. The son tried to speak his apology, but the father's joy drowned out the shame. Quickly, he shouted to the servants, "Bring the finest robe, the gold ring, and the leather sandals. Prepare a feast, for the air must smell of celebration." Outside, the elder son arrived from the fields, his boots caked in the honest mud of labor. He stopped at the sound of music and dancing. When a servant told him the news, bitterness surged within him. He dropped his tools and turned his back on the house. The father stepped out into the twilight, placing a gentle hand on his eldest son's shoulder, gesturing toward the warm light of the hall. He stood between them both, his hands resting on their backs as a bridge over a troubled sea. The music swelled as the father looked at them and spoke, "For this son of mine was lost, and now he is found."